you will have less problems for people like Nichole and myself to find when we do an audit, because you've said, oh yeah, we got to go back when we're not sick of it and look at this again. So if you're trying to DIY it, outsource. And yes, that's self-serving of me, but there's a reason we have a job again. So, I mean, I didn't say I wasn't going to talk about myself, but for yourself, that's how you don't burn out. You don't have all these little back burner things hanging over you. And that's where broken links appear. You change something, you forget to find out everywhere that link is. And now you've got 404 errors. And a 404 error is just absolutely death for people who are coming to your website. They're going to leave and never come back because your website doesn't work. And there'll be people who say to me, well, no, people just go to the other page. I've seen that they've hit that and then gone somewhere else. Well, then you're doing something right, because they really, really wanted your product. But I guarantee you, they don't think you're that trustworthy anymore. I guarantee you, they now think you're a small potatoes company.
Because you're not paying enough attention to the details.
Right. And not everyone can pay attention to every detail. And I hear all these people out there rolling their eyes right now. There's a great disturbance in the force because they're saying, I can. Well, that's ego. Nobody can. It's not possible. You might be able to carry on more detail than most people, but
nobody can get all of them. And okay, so here's a step above that. So say you've outsourced, say you've gotten the right experts who have stayed up on their experts, and you've taken your ego out of the way and you're letting someone show you how to make sure that the customer isn't lost, that you're making it easy for them to give you money, right? Okay, so now you've hit the part where you've got the customers, they're about it, you're totally there, and now you've got too many customers. You've got too many customers, you're getting too many orders, and
it's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem. So you've done it. You've got them there. And now you're having an issue where in order to get your product made, say it's cookies, you have built up the demand so high, but your staff is calling out because of COVID. Or they need so many cookies that you're spending so much time making the cookie that you're not delivering the cookie on time. Okay.
Or you weren't expecting random share from some celebrity, or getting your brand just, at the top of the For You page on TikTok. I've seen this happen with two makers recently. One that does clay pieces with memorial ashes. And and she does the video on like the making of it. She'll make little videos. Well, everybody wanted that. And she's like, I can't, I'm like 2 weeks behind in my DMs. I'm so sorry. And she's got staff and she's got people, but how do you hire when you're trying to make? How do you hire when you're trying to, answer DMs? So this is a great example. Go ahead.
And that's where we're gonna hit on ego again. So
wait, before you say that, I just like to say, y'all came here thinking we were just going to give you some technical stuff about upgrading your website. It's become like, this is your well-being podcast, but it's necessary. We see it all the time. This is what we're trying to say.
It
all right,
so is.
Go ahead.
So much of what we're doing to help people is explaining to them these interpersonal things and why that relates to their technology. And right. you just have to. So
yeah, this isn't our frustration. This is the owner's frustration. This is the client's frustration that they come to us with. So we're trying to save you that time right now up front.
Exactly. So all right. So you've made the best cookie, you've got your best customers, the customers are giving you money, and now you're figuring out how to deliver. Well, when you get to that point, instead of spending a bunch of time apologizing that you are 2 weeks back in your DMs or apologizing that you cannot make the delivery, what you need to do is learn to say no. It's okay to, instead of having a 404 screen pop up, it's okay to have a pop up that says, we are focusing on our customers. We are baking cookies. We are not taking any more orders until this time because so many people want them. You know what happens when you do that? When you say, hey, by the way, this is limited now. Hey, by the way, this allows you to say, you know what? My cookies aren't $4 a piece anymore. They're $8 a piece. my cookies aren't going to be delivered within 2 days. It's going to take a week. Hey, by the way, we just updated our systems so that you have to order this way so that I spend less time making invoices and more time making cookies. Once you're there, get out of that hustle. You have passed that precipice. Now your focus is systems.
And I'm gonna jump in with this, because what you're talking about is that theory of scarcity versus abundance that affects, again, human nature, affects so much of our lives in all businesses and in our personal life. And when you feel like, if I don't take this order, I'm not going to make money, they're never going to come back, they're going to leave me a bad review, then you just keep taking orders to the detriment of your company. And that's actually one of the downfalls in having this good problem, is that
because then you're losing customers.
Right. You end up losing customers because you don't know how to tell them something. I think, well, if I tell them it's going to be 6 weeks, they're going to be angry. But when I point out to people, think about you've just seen that everybody wants these cookies. And now you go on and you say, wow, we really blew up on TikTok. You guys are awesome. We're going to focus on all the orders we have. And then our new orders we're going to be accepting are not going to start for at least 8 weeks. And they're going to start in 5 or 6, because always under promise, over deliver. So if you're a business owner, you already know that. So that's exactly how you get through that problem from a marketing standpoint and a website standpoint. So I'm going to pull it back again before we finish up here to where we started, website upgrade, and kind of summarize what we're talking about. Have somebody check your website, right? Don't be egotistical about it when they come back and say, this page isn't performing because, and you're the one who built that page, or you're the one who had the idea. It's okay. Things change. It might have been amazing in the beginning, but things changed. Everything changes. My marketing has to change for myself. Everything changes. Then we have, don't be afraid to outsource. Don't be afraid to invest in outsourcing, and don't be afraid to invest in your employees to give them that continuing education if you can't outsource your whole deal right now, because it's going to pay back to you tenfold. And just have that long-term solution going. It's just so worth it if you can find the money. And if you're really scrambling to find that money because you are expanding, put it in the journey, put in the planner, your journey, not the customer's journey, put it in the planner and say, okay, in 6 months, I'm going to send my employee Amy to the local community college to get her social media certification because I can't outsource right now. But if Amy is much more valuable as a customer service manager, or as your admin assistant, or as your warehouse manager, but she's young and good at social media, so you kind of put her in that role and she had fun with it, but now it's overwhelming, it's time to hire somebody else, somebody who's an expert in that, and not ask Amy to do that anymore. Even if she loves it, she can still help, she can still do it, or give her more hours where she's only doing that role. You've got to decide over burnout, and including your employees' burnout, where you're going to invest in your employees and in your company time and money for something like this. Marketing tends to come last. We know that. Websites come even farther back for some reason, and they're the biggest marketing piece, because why are you marketing your website if your website isn't somewhere people want to go?
And during the pandemic, it's the only place that customers have to go for so many things.
So many places.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not going to go away, by the way. A lot of people are just going virtual because they gave up their real estate. And they're not seeing a reason to invest in that again. So if you're one of those owners, this is the storefront you need to be investing in. Take that rent money you were paying and the property taxes and the property insurance you were paying and put it into your website, and you will reap those benefits tenfold, definitely tenfold.
So with that being said, I'm going to try to make one more point and connect it. So if you have gotten to this point where you've made all the cookies, you're at the point where you're focusing on systems, and you have the income, the revenue, the consistency, okay? that is the perfect time where if you are struggling to make ends meet in one way, shape, or form, or you want to invest in yourself or your employees, this is the time where you can now take all of that data and get a small business loan, get a grant. This is the time where you can invest and you can actually do it because you have gotten to the point where you're now in your third year of business, right? And so you're either gonna close because you can't do it anymore because you got burned out, or you're gonna invest and you're gonna grow. And this is the precipice where businesses fail or they succeed. Most businesses don't get past that 1 to 3 year line. And if you want to get past that, that's what you need to do. And it's okay if you've decided I've put my all in, I'm totally done with cookies. Fuck cookies. I need a year. I need a year to eat cookies, not bake cookies. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I know we're going to bleep that out, but I'm laughing because you know what she said.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how the cookie crumbles, man. But it's true.
Exactly.
It's true. So, I can't make any more soap. I can't make any more cookies. I can't make any more of this because I have allowed myself to go too far and I can't bring it back to a pace. Yeah.
Right.
And you can, but that's how you feel.
Right. Listen to your ego in this sense. Don't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to your body. Make sure you're not burning out. Also, it's okay to burn out. It's okay to be done. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, you know what? Because I have an ancestor who his whole thing was that he invented something, and then he invented the manufacturing process, and then he sold it. He lived off of all that money until he didn't have any more, and then he started over again.
The entrepreneurial genes, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't cry about it. Invest in your experts. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Make good decisions.
That's amazing. That's right. That's right. You're making me think about my ancestry and how a bunch of them are founders of towns, but how one of them ran away after surviving being tried for a witch after trying to get his wife to take the blame. But hey, that's a whole nother story that you can listen to on my other podcast with Cindy Wolf.
We can do a whole thing about that. I did ancestry.com. I found similar stuff. Let's go. Another podcast.
Yeah. Well, I actually did a podcast with my friend Cindy Wolf, and you can go back to it. And she was she's my monster season. She does ghost tours in Milford, Connecticut, and my ancestors helped found that whole area. And so, yeah, we had that whole joke because she tells the story, and I'm like in the middle of the tour going, yeah, that's my great grandfather. So
I just found out that my whole family is from Southport, Long Island, and that they essentially founded that.
Okay, we're gonna have to take this whole part out because I'm going to tell you that I have books written by someone who also has ancestors from that area. That's like a 4-series romance novel about the founding of Long Island.
Oh my God, I'm going to send you a Facebook link. So I know you're taking this out, but I'm sending you the Facebook link.
All right, Eric, you don't have to put in the romance novel. So anyway, give it a second so you can edit. Poor Eric. He's like, Liza keeps yelling too. All right, hold on one second. Anyway, now that Eric's edited all our chatter out, thank you, Eric. We have gone over a lot of different things, but they all have the same thread, and that is ego, burnout, trying to feel like you're trying to do too many things, get everything done so that those details that scare away your customers in your marketing get missed. And it is human nature. It is the price of business in certain economic conditions, such as we have coming out of the COVID pandemic and during the recession, et cetera. And, just take these lessons and apply them. And don't forget to take all these little things you have to check and put them on a calendar somewhere with an alarm, going back to that file that says, hey, we set this aside and we stopped because we weren't sure how to fix it and we didn't have the priority time for it. So now we're going to go back and say, okay, is this going to take us an hour or is it going to take us 2 weeks? Do we do it in-house? Do we outsource it? Because that's how you fix those problems. And a lot of owners know this, but a lot of small business owners who are not familiar with running websites, but know how to bake cookies really well, won't know to do that. So here's your expertise. Hey, it's a good example, better than my dead horse. So Actually, it wasn't dead, but I beat